Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Aun Syed Show, and today I have a very special guest with me. He's not only one of the top freelancers that I know that work on UpWork, but he's also one of the pioneers of product management when product management was not a term that we were very aware of. So I have with me Sohaib Waheed from ZalTech AI. Sohaib, kaise hain aap?
I'm good, very well. How about you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for joining and taking out the time to come here. So Sohaib, a little bit about your background. You have a very wonderful background, so I would like the audience to know about your journey. So if you could just start off with that.
Yeah, absolutely. About me, I come from a family जहाँ पे parents would want their sort of kids to be doctors only kind of family.
Okay.
So my father is a pediatrician, so he wanted me to become a doctor, and I went to medical school as well. Or for me, it was more like after my pre-med, I went to med school and kind of always had in me that I wanted to have screens around me, have the techie thing and stuff, whatnot. So I left medicine, I think around 6 months time. 6 months ke baad I left medicine. I left medical school here in Lahore, and I went to England for my foundation studies. Foundation studies ke baad, then I went to Australia. I went to UTS. So UTS, I did my bachelor's in information systems management. After doing that, I kind of started working in Deloitte, वहाँ पे in Sydney, Australia. Once I was done with that, it was always a plan to come back to Pakistan. It was quite against the norms. Lekin after I think around a year there, I came back to Pakistan. And Pakistan में आने के बाद, I think it took me it was the third day when I came to Pakistan that I had my first interview at a company in Lahore. And the good thing was that it was the only job that I was looking for that was actually relevant. Otherwise, Pakistan mein at that time, business analysis, product management, there was no concept. Literally not at all. And the one thing about that is what I think is that at that time, I was making pretty well in Australia. It was like, in a very healthy range when you graduate from there and you're working in a good company. When I came back to Pakistan, everyone was like, yaar, tum 15-20 हज़ार रुपए से ऊपर तुम्हें कुछ नहीं मिल रहा. And I kind of started, still decent. I started in Pakistan. और उसके बाद से I think it has been, so far it has been an uphill sort of kind of journey so far, alhamdulillah. And then I think 2019 में I went back to Australia because I wanted to explore more. I thought maybe I had not explored it properly. So I explored more. I got a contract in project management at that time. So I went back.
Nice. So when you went back to Australia, what made you come back to Pakistan again? Because weren't you able to explore a lot over there?
I was, but the whole thing is that you sometimes forget why you came back. The whole idea was it was always going to be Pakistan, because for me, I'm a very family-oriented person. So I'm very close to my parents, and until my parents are here, so it was like I have to come back to Pakistan anyway. So when I came back, so I mean, it's when you trust.
Do you regret it, वैसे?
I do not regret it at all. I think I did pretty well. From the perspective how things turned out, how when you actually trust yourself. My father always said, अभी भी वो यही कहते हैं कि anywhere in the world, doesn't matter which part of the world you are from or where you are, if you want to do something, you can do it. And we've seen so many success stories in Pakistan. I mean, people have done huge. So for me, I think it was just that if you are extraordinary or if you want to be extraordinary, you can do that anywhere in the world. And I think, if I just see in retrospect, I think I would do the same thing over and over again.
Over and over. That's wonderful. So once you came back into Pakistan, you got a job here in Lahore, as you mentioned. Then how did you pivot into starting your own business? Like, when was that sort of calling happened for you?
I think when I was working here, so the people who I worked with, they were very very supportive. What I see was very, very different environment. The people who I worked with, it was always on the cards. I was always
अपना business करना ही है मेरा.
I have to do my own thing. The cliche is that I do not have anyone in my family who does business. So I'm the first one. My father, he's got he's a pediatrician, so he's got his own clinic and all, but it's not business. Okay. So for me, I think it was it was always there. So whenever I used to go past, the execs and all in the company as well, it was like, okay, I want to be there one day. So first day, say the learning was, okay, you want to learn the things that these people do, not what, for example, a junior software engineer or a junior business analyst would do. You want to learn the things how they think, and then take that learning because you are going to need that one day. So I think that was the mindset from the very beginning.
So that's amazing. So you wanted to learn from there and apply it to Pakistan.
Yeah.
So how did you start? Like अब आपने सोच लिया कि मैंने जॉब छोड़ देनी है, मैंने बिजनेस स्टार्ट करना है. So what was day zero like for you?
I was working in a startup in Pakistan at that time. At the end, I was working with autos as I mentioned before. So it was I had enough experience. I had around 3 odd years of experience, which I think is very optimal if you wanna get into anything. So for me, it was a leap of faith without a question. Like my father told me, you have a very good job. You can retire, you can do this, you can do that, you can just keep going. You don't have to worry about that. For me, it was like, there is something that's within you that you want to be extraordinary. You just don't want to be ordinary all the time. So I think if you want to be extraordinary, then you just have to do it. I literally left the job. And when I left the job, I did not have anything else at that time. So maybe it was wrong. Maybe it was right. I can't say. Then I had heard a few people around me in the company as well who were doing some freelance stuff. So I was like, okay, what is freelance? Till 2019, I had no idea what is freelance. Really? Because I was not in Pakistan when I started my bachelor's. Pakistan mein to phir bhi there is concept of freelance. In Australia, there was no concept. Okay. So when I came back and then in 2019 I thought, okay, there is freelance work as well. So there were these 2 platforms, UpWork and Fiverr. So because I wanted to be sort of kind of in more the above range, so I started with UpWork. And it's luck or it's destiny, whatever that is. It was the first week. I got my first project in the first week. And that guy had me do user stories. And I think it was something that I was very good at. So because when you are in product management, something for everyone to know, product management mein what I get the question from everyone as well is, कि product management is not tangible. Okay? Most of the things are intangible. So what can I sell to people? I think that's the question that everyone asks. कि software engineers का पता है, back-end developers, front-end developers, whatever. Designers का भी पता है. लेकिन what do product managers do?
हमारा selling point क्या? What is a USP? So let's shed a little bit of light on that. So what did you find? Like what was your USP that you were able to, mashallah, become such a successful freelancer on UpWork?
I think it was very much about शुरू में तो I'm not gonna lie, I had no idea. And when I started putting in business analyst, junior business analyst, product owner. I can do user stories, I can do wireframe. These are the only 2 things that I knew about at that time. I'm not gonna say I knew about strategy, product roadmaps. I did not know about all of that stuff. So when I started that, so it was luck or it was, as I said before, I got that opportunity as write user stories and develop wireframes. I still remember, I think it was $110 to work, I think 6 hours of work. He was based in Brazil, the client. I did the work for him, and I would say that I think after that, I got some sort of validation. Okay, there is work for product managers as well in the freelance world. So after that, I think first week for that job, and uske baad se, I think in the start you become desperate. When you have your first job, you become desperate. You're like, ek job mil gaya, what next? Because product management is very uncertain. Right after that, I started applying for roles as well. I would make sure that I am applying between 10 a.m. Eastern, that is around 6 p.m. Pakistan time, to around 12 a.m., 1 a.m. This was the time.
And did you use UpWork credits वगैरह as well?
I mean, they connects. Obviously, they were connects. Obviously, everyone uses UpWork connects. I think, like at that time, the boosting and stuff, it was not there. It was not there at all. It was organic. It was very basic stuff that you can actually apply for a job. And I think at that time, it was I believe 8 connects to apply for a job, something like that. Yeah. So I started doing that, and for me, I think it was from there. It was very organic because maybe there were not lots of product managers on UpWork at that time. Yeah, I have no idea, to be honest. just went through that. I went through many weird people as well. I mean, this is a problem that many people face, that, you went through many weird people who would say, okay, I want to be on a video call when you're doing the work. I think I've seen that time in the first 6 odd months or so, when you actually cannot say to anything, you just have to do it. And you have to do it on $10, $12, whatever that is. I did not have to do that a lot, but I think for the first 5 odd months, because I was not doing anything else. That's all I was doing.
So you were just doing freelancing on Upwork?
I was just doing freelancing on Upwork. And sath mein I was trying to think about what I'm going to do with life. What if this gets closed today? What I'm going to do? But it turned out well.
What are some of the tips that you would give, upcoming freelancers, especially like product managers who want to excel on Upwork? Like, what are your learnings that might help them, become better freelancers on Upwork?
I mean, I'm not gonna go in the guru mode here, because I think we're all learning for sure. I think one thing that would be good is for you to stick to your strength. Some people try to do everything on this platform. Focus is very important. For example, for the starting project managers, the one tip that I think is, rather than going for like hourly gigs and stuff like that, try to work with people who actually are looking for someone as a part of their team. Wahan pe you get like...
How do you transition into that? Like, what was your strategy? You work on a project and then the goal should be that you become maybe part-time employees or, permanent employees in that organization.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it was with me, because that's how I got the good people who I worked with. Some people actually, they were worth more than 250,000, to be honest. Wow. For me. And I've been working with them for almost, you can say, two and a half years and onwards. And I think one thing that happened is, I would really say that, one, there is luck there. But what you have to do is, there are different kinds of people on Upwork. It's about you finding the right fit. And now if you go there and if you search right now, you would see out of every 10 job, I think 4 of the jobs or 5 of the jobs are for the people who are actually looking for the team members. It's not that they're looking for someone just to come in and do strategy. It doesn't work like that. Product doesn't work like that. Product may, if you think that you can actually deliver something in 2 weeks, you cannot deliver something in 2 weeks. The one thing that people can do, I think, for new freelancers, as you mentioned, one thing I would say for sure is focus on, one, I've said that on LinkedIn as well, is try to create PRDs for any products that are out there. For example, try to create a PRD for Instagram. When you create a PRD for Instagram, it has everything. It has user flow, it has wireframe, it has user stories, modules, MVP list, and whatnot. Try to create that on your own, and then you will get the idea of how can you transition into product management in freelance world. Because right now what people are doing is, in corporate world, you have an idea about one thing. You don't know about anything what's going on around in the product. You need to have a holistic picture of what's going on. And I think for the holistic picture, it's very, very important for you to have a complete idea of end-to-end product. Because whenever you're going in product management or whenever you're selling on freelance world, LinkedIn, Fiverr, Upwork, whatever that is, one thing is going to be important is for you to have an idea of how to take a product from 0 to 1. And for that, you need to have a complete PRD.
Nice. So coming back to this very important point, and as you mentioned, it's a very new field that arose probably maybe 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. What is product management at the end of the day? Like, आपके नज़दीक आपने अपने experience में क्या पाया? Like, product management क्या है?
I think people have glorified it a lot in terms of product management. Product management is essentially, from what I see, from my experience has been, is having the complete understanding of the domain that you're working in, like the product that you're working in, for example, even if it's one part of the product. What you need is, you need to understand from what users want. From any day, if I have seen in product, is I know what it would be like when the users use it. I think some people say it's a cliche comment, but people saying, if you like putting yourself in customer's shoes, I think that's exactly it. Product management is the person who understands, the person who has empathy, a person who understands what the other person would feel when they use it. I think they are the ones who I think what it's all product management is about, to be honest. Product management is having end-to-end clarity on from zero.
So if you talk about product management as a career, and if I'm a fresh graduate and I want to start, what would the tips be from your end? Because you've been a very renowned product manager for a lot of clients out there. तो मैं आज day zero से मैं product manager बनना चाहता हूँ. So what is like a roadmap for me?
Okay, I'll first go on the renowned part. I would not say that. I think in terms of the flashcards, focusing on in your final year, the focus is try to polish as much as you can on your communication skills.
Degree कौन सी होनी चाहिए product management के लिए?
I think in Pakistan now, I've actually asked my younger brother to do the same thing. It's BBIT. BBIT.
BBIT.
BBIT is one of the things that which is actually overall, if I say BBIT, I think a couple of universities are doing it. I mean, I've known Beacon House, my brother is doing there, but I think others are doing it as well. It's like, or you can do typical BBA as well, to be honest. BBA works. And again, if I talk holistically, I think any degree is fine. It's the only thing is at the end of in your last year or overall your degree, I think you need to understand product management is not just about tech or about product. It's about everything. It's about sales. It's about how you understand people. It's about little bit of tech as well. For me, take it from a person who has never written a single line of code after the university. So, and I have led engineering teams all the way. Not just one, like we've literally, the first organization that I worked at remotely, it started through UpWork, then I actually went very direct with them as well. It was, I was, I think, the third team member for them. And then it was sold for $42 million to a company in Houston. That was Point Pickup. So I think that's coming from a person who, I mean, overall, I think for any person, any graduate who is actually kind of thinking about product management, you just need to make sure that you don't have to be a master of one thing. Jack of all trades works in product management. It works. I have seen it to work, but communication very important. If you cannot communicate properly, I don't think you can be good in this.
So coming back, you spoke about user stories, and there's a very famous tool called Jira. So ye university days mein, ya in the start of your career, how important are these tools to get like hands-on experience on? And what tools do you use for product management?
I mean. Firstly, about what tools I've used, I think I've probably used all of them. You go. I think Jira is something that most of the product managers use because of the flexibility that it offers. Otherwise, I love Shortcut. Shortcut is also like Jira. It's like a simplified version of Jira. Then all of these tools, Product Plan, Monday.com, what I have found is in all of these tools, there's a uniqueness every tool offers. For example, Monday.com has amazing workload management. There's a product called Workload something. They do amazing project management from Monday.com. So I think all the tools they're pretty much very similar.
What about user stories, diagrams? What do you use for those? Like
for diagrams, I've used Draw.io, Lucidchart, and recently now Miro. Miro is the personal favorite now. So and I think for the university students, getting hands-on on project management tools, as you mentioned. And how do you do that? Get an internship. I mean, people underrate the value of an internship. Internship में you actually kind of आपको बहुत सारी ऐसी चीज़ों का आइडिया होता है जो आपको कभी फर्स्ट जॉब से पहले एक्सपोजर मिल नहीं सकता. तो I'm getting back to the Urdu concept now कि आप try to get into internships. आप एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में काम करोगे for 2-3 months, आपको एटलीस्ट, और अगर कुछ नहीं भी आएगा ना, आप टूल्स को देख लोगे कि टूल्स चलते कैसे हैं, तो फिर द नेक्स्ट टाइम दैट यू हैव एन इंटरव्यू ना, यू वुड नो एग्जैक्टली कि कौन से टूल्स से, एंड एटलीस्ट इट्स नॉट जिब्रिश फॉर यू. तो दीज 4-5 टूल्स ये जो हैं टिपिकल प्रोडक्ट, इट्स नॉट जस्ट प्रोडक्ट मैनेजमेंट, इट्स फॉर इवन अ सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर एज वेल, सेम थिंग.
Same thing. So as of right now, like what does Sohaib does? Like what's your focus? What are you doing? What's up with you?
Okay, so my life is a 16-hour day mess right now. Okay. So the first half of the day is with ZalTech AI. So that's the AI consulting company. We're moving towards the AI product company. So that's my first 8 hours of the day. Okay. I focus on the team. We have a small team. I focus on a team. We're building AI products.
How big is your team?
We are around 16 at the moment. Wow. And it's a mix of some very, very good people, and I intend to keep it to 16 as well.
Why that?
People talk about numbers. I have a 200 people team, I have a 300 people team. I do not like that concept. I think if I had to convert the 16 members team based on what people say 200 people team, I can convert into 100 people easily. I don't have a big problem with that. The only problem is ZalTech wants to be focused on a product. We want to be a product company out of Pakistan, a SaaS product company out of Pakistan, and hopefully, inshallah, within a year, we intend to make our mark. And that's the focus. So
I have a question for you right now. Like, you've done services most of your career. Mm-hmm. So you've been on UpWork for the past 5 years and you've been doing freelancing for quite a lot. My question to you is, why pivot into a product right now?
It's a very good question. That's a very good question. अगर मैं बात करूँ, I don't think it's a new thing, because जब आप product management कर रहे होते हो, तो you're actually building products लोगों के लिए. You're taking them, आप founders से उनके idea से start करते हो. You're taking it from 0 to 1. ठीक है. तो जब आप when you're doing it for people, और वो भी 0 से लेके end तक, when you're doing it all the way, तो then it was always in the mind कि भाई, if I am building these simple products for people, why can't we do it for ourselves? So for me, it was even way before ZalTech started. So the idea was कि it has to be a product company. मैंने तो start में तो मुझे था कि मुझे services एक दिन के लिए भी नहीं करना है. Then you get realistic. Then you see, okay.
Do you plan on raising any funding for your product?
I am against the investors concept. I mean, not being very hard on that. Lekin, I think I love the idea of bootstrapping, and a few people who I've seen successful as well, they've all bootstrapped. And I would rather spend 17-hour days, spend 8 hours in product management consulting apne evening mein, which I do right now as well, and take that money, put it in the product itself rather than raising funding, because I think it takes the originality out of you. Everyone has an originality associated with that person. तो मुझे लगता है कि वो बहुत ज़्यादा opposite हो जाता है, तो इसलिए I don't think I'm going to go towards funding route and make it official. No funding.
No funding. आगे जाके के scale भी करना है तो you won't.
No. I would rather keep myself to a small team and small people, and be. And it's okay. It's okay to be small as well, as long as you're happy about that. I think it's okay to be small.
That's making a lot of. So one thing that you mentioned is that like product management is a combination of a lot of skills, and I think one of the most important is sales. Like whenever you're doing product management, आप जब प्रोडक्ट बिल्ड कर रहे हो तो वो सेलिंग एस्पेक्ट सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट होना चाहिए आपके ज़हन में कि यार ये जो मैं बना रहा हूँ ये बेचने के काबिल है भी कि नहीं, कि कोई ख़रीदेगा कि नहीं, या कोई मुझे इसके लिए पैसे देगा कि नहीं. तो एक एस्पेक्ट तो प्रोडक्ट मैनेजमेंट है कि प्रोडक्ट बिल्डिंग है, बट एक प्रोडक्ट की डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन है. उसके बारे में सोचा कि ZalTech AI वो कैसे करेगी, क्योंकि you've done the building part, but I think you will be doing the sales part as well in this new venture of yours.
So abhi, I'll tell you the secret sauce what I'm doing right now. Okay. Abhi we have these typical chatbots वगैरह लोग बनाते हैं. ठीक है. So the product that we're building is related to the infrastructure of that itself. Okay. So what we do now is, as I said before, पहले मैंने start किया था कि everyone has their own journey. सब लोग कहते हैं कि ऐसे कर लो ऐसे हो जाएगा. Everyone has their own journey. For me, what we're doing now is we're building chatbots for people. Okay? But then what we're doing is we're actually already onboarding them to our platform, which is not even built yet. So we are obviously from the first day you're actually thinking about, let's say you said product में सबसे पहले every feature that you build, you'd think about premium है क्या है, all of that. So in our case as well, I think for me the kind of platform that we're building, it is not a new thing. I'm not going to say कि we are reinventing the wheel. Reinventing the wheel is something उन लोगों के लिए जिनके पास they have millions of dollars of funding, they can reinvent the wheel. In their time, मुझे इंटरेस्ट नहीं है व्हील को reinvent करने में. फॉर एग्जाम्पल अब जीरा के साथ प्रोडक्ट प्लान है, money.com है, शॉर्टकट है, all of these tools are making money, all of the people are making money and they're doing good thing. What I think is जब आपने स्टार्ट किया है, when you actually are 6 months into development या 12 months into development, आपको खुद से ही कोई ऐसी चीज़ मिल जाती है कि that actually becomes your USP. जो लोग पहले USP ढूंढने की कोशिश करते हैं ना, they actually are never able to start. I think 6 to 12 months time, you are able to find your USP because
iterate होते हैं, validate होता है idea आपका.
Exactly. And for me, I think it was 3 months in development abhi, and I actually figured out already what I think is going to be the USP for us as well. Or I think.
So do you have any like demo customers using the product? Yeah, it's still in development phase.
It's in the development phase. We're using the architecture of the product already for building products for people. लेकिन and I think I might even have 2 paying customers already, even without starting. लेकिन not right now. I think it's gonna take some time.
Gonna take some time. So you would pivot into a product company in the near future.
Very close, very soon.
Very soon. उसके बाद का क्या plan है like with this product? And let's talk about AI as a whole. Like why did you pivot into AI? मतलब product management पीछे जा रही थी आपकी. आप माशाल्लाह से one of the top product management freelancers on Upwork और वैसे भी आपके clientele है. So you could have built a team that specializes in product management. Why did you pivot into AI?
I wanted my own life as well. So I think that's a very important concept because I was doing product management. Lekin before starting ZalTech AI, I was doing product management in AI for 2 years as consulting as well.
Nice.
So I was building products for these few people. One of those is very esteemed as well. I was working with Microsoft CIO as a product consultant. So I actually we were building very enterprise level AI products already before GPT came in. So that's the thing now, because we were working on NLP, computer vision, even before GPT and OpenAI concept came in. What OpenAI and GPT concept did was it actually sort of skyrocketed what we were doing and took it to the next level. So isliye for me, it was like, now product management in AI is working. Why not we build our AI products? So ZalTech was started to be a product focused company from the very beginning. But then obviously you have to get realistic, because if you want to bootstrap it, you want to make some money from services as well. So that's just what we started.
Okay. So in terms of team structure, like do you have a dedicated team that works on a product या फिर वो product भी बना रहे हो services भी कर रहे हैं?
नहीं, see, this is where the values and ethics come into play. ठीक है? तो and for people to have like a,
क्योंकि पाकिस्तानी सर्विसेज कंपनीज का बड़ा कॉन्सेप्ट है ये कि यार जैसा आपने कहा कि 4 घंटे हम काम करेंगे, 4 घंटे अपने प्रोडक्ट पे काम करेंगे, और बेशक वो उन्हीं क्लाइंट के ही रिलेटिव
नहीं, हाँ नहीं, तो वो बिल्कुल ऐसा, आई डोंट थिंक दैट्स द राइट वे. फॉर मी, इफ आई वांट टू बिल्ड अ प्रोडक्ट साथ में, तो आई वांट टू हैव सेपरेट टीम फॉर द प्रोडक्ट. आई वांट टू हैव सेपरेट टीम फॉर सर्विसेज.
सो सोहेब, आए दिन मैं ZalTech AI की LDF पे तुम्हारा लाम्स डिस्कशन फोरम है, पोस्ट देख रहे हो तुम जॉब ओपनिंग्स की. यू गाइस आर माशाल्लाह से हायरिंग अ लॉट एंड यू आर हायरिंग वेरी sort of accurately as well. Are you facing any challenges these days hiring में?
I think if anyone in this world would say कि we do not face challenges in hiring, I think they would be wrong. बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं इसमें. But I've seen things that I did not know about before hiring. I mean, हमेशा से लगता था कि it's पैसे होंगे तो लोग हायर हो जाएंगे आराम से, इसमें कौन सा प्रॉब्लम है. But what I see now is because of the shift that is happening around our country, that's one of the major reasons why people are actually planning to leave Pakistan as well. तो उसकी वजह से we have to, one thing is obviously a misaccurate representation of skills. People actually do that a lot. That's one thing that actually we have seen, because of which we actually start में, which I think every founder makes that mistake, कि start में आपको होता है यार मेरे पास project है, लोग hire करो, बंदे रख लो. तो what I did was, the main mistake that I did was, मैंने उन लोगों को hire किया जो actually were immediately available. पहले वाले 5 hires जो थे मेरे, I think 4-5 hires, they were immediately available, and I actually got them in 2 days time, and a couple turned well as well. लेकिन I think this was one mistake, कि you do not hire people just without interviews. मैंने तो I actually did not even do technical interviews for them as well. I did the technical interviews, and me being a non-technical person, so I went through the whole process.
Do you have a proper HR वैसे?
We have an HR, but I would not say proper HR. We have an HR right now, but I kind of handle things on my own, and my brother, who is the CEO of the company as well, he takes care of operations part through the LUMS groups and stuff like that. We've hired a lot of people from LUMS recently too. So I think hiring is, right now, if I have to say, probably the most sore point that I have to see and I have to feel almost every day, because people, we have a lot of ethics issues in Pakistan. Was something that I did not know before, and I see it कि people leave अभी 2 महीने भी नहीं होते, and people are like, I have problems. I mean, I've already applied for this job and I'm going and stuff, whatnot. And you know, the worst part is that we're not paying under market. I think we're paying people maybe above market as well. So I'm trying not to save money from the client's part and just trying to pay as much as to people.
So like fully focused on retaining your employees, लेकिन फिर भी you're facing challenges.
Maybe I'm facing challenges, and I think a major part of that challenge is about this cultural shift, sort of political shift, you can say, around what's happening in our country.
So what strategy is ZalTech doing to sort of inhibit this?
The strategy is what you said. The first comment is ke start ke upar, you always see the post for ZalTech AI engineers. So I think what we are doing is I am building a pipeline now. So I build a pipeline. I talk to people, and they are good people as well. I think, and हमने यही किया है. अब what I've done is two things. One is obviously keep hiring. The second thing is कि you need to make sure कि you reward the people who are good. तो अभी I've you can say ripped off the strategy के biannual increments, annual increments. I don't care. If you do well, you'll get an increment tomorrow.
Really?
This is what I've started doing. I just did that last week. Or if you do well, you get bonuses. For example, we recently had a product, एक बहुत short product था. It was like 1 week development. So I told everyone, everything that I get out of this product, it will be divided across the team. So because the idea is कि हमें typical company build नहीं करनी. I mean, I want it to be a product company. तो product company का मतलब ये होता है कि the people who actually work in a product company, they're all, everyone gets the reward. अब हम obviously हमारा यहाँ पे कोई पाकिस्तान में कोई equity वगैरह का इतना इस तरह का मॉडल होते नहीं है. तो I think as we move forward, we want to be a bit different from the competition. कि मतलब ये नहीं है कि छोटे छोटे projects लेके आओ, सबको काम करवाओ. Or one thing that we have done obviously is that I do not expect anyone to stay 1 minute after work. I hate that concept. I never did that myself. So agar koi, for example, our timing is 10:30 from 6:30. We do 8 hours, not 9 hours, like a break beach mein and all. And then no one is to stay after 6:30. So I think कुछ इस तरह की चीज़ें हैं, and we have built a very small team. It takes time. Obviously to perfect what you're doing. Like, I think people will realize the people who actually are there. So this increment policy is what I think we are trying to do. It is something that people would actually see the immediate value in what they're doing as well.
Yeah. Any last comments from somebody who came from Australia to start a business in Pakistan? कोई regrets हैं? नहीं है? लोगों को करना चाहिए? Like, do you see that amidst all the political instability and what's happening in Pakistan, do you still feel there's potential in our people in the country?
That's a good question. For me, no regrets. As I said before, if I had to do it all over again, I would do it any day. And if you think you have potential yourself, Pakistan से better जगह कोई नहीं है. ठीक है, I understand, and we're not the ones who are actually putting a blind eye to what's happening around us. We know all of that. लेकिन if you have the skills ना, पाकिस्तान में बैठ के you can actually do wonders, honestly. अब there's only one thing I want to talk about. People talk about कि they got a 100,000 euro job in Germany. उसको इतने की job वहाँ पे मिल गई है, and they don't see the 41% tax उसके ऊपर. ठीक है, पाकिस्तान में भी people talk about tax and whatnot, लेकिन the tax ratio in Pakistan is so less than what it is all around the world. And then there are many controversial things that you can talk about. Like, I think if you have the skill in Pakistan, you can build a small team. And what I think is, agar aap usko दूसरे perspective se dekho, if one person like you, for example, the way you've done, you have, let's just say, if you have everyone has 15 people working for them, you're building your own country. I think I don't talk about this patriotism part because people think it's cliche, but it is always there. You're always a second-class citizen when you're out of Pakistan. Pakistan के अंदर you're a first-class citizen. And people can talk about के unfair advantage and whatnot. People talk about these things all the time. Yeah. लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि if you are good enough, you can do anywhere in the world. And if I compare myself to the people who actually graduated from the same university that I did, today, I think, alhamdulillah, I've done 10,000 times better than what they have done in Australia. Amazing. So, no question on that.
Sir, thank you, Sohaib. Thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure to have you. And please stay tuned for more episodes. Please follow Sohaib as well. And if you have any interest in AI, I think you have a lot of job openings. So please do apply to ZalTech AI. And I hope Sohaib selects you guys. Thank you so much.